It's the Pig Dog Show. I'm Joseph Jenkins, aka JJ Leon Kennedy. You know, we got Philly's finest, Philly Jim, Mr. James Tatum, my boy, my co-host. What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's up, bro? It's a good start to the week. It's Wednesday. We trying to get over the hump, try to make for 2 more days in the week, and make it to the weekend where we got some NFL games, and really excited to. We're already to week 8, so the season is gonna start getting more intense the longer it goes. So really excited.
Yes, indeed, man. It's exciting times. Teams are getting into gear and really trying to make that push to secure those wins. You want to dive into it? Let's do it. So, as you guys can see, first of all, for those about to enter in, thank you guys for joining us. We look forward to seeing your comments coming up and down the screen as we continue to go through these games. I'm a little tired, so let's bear with me. Let's go. We have the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. Minnesota suffered their first loss this weekend, which was coming to a rival who was arguably the team that was supposed to be the head of the division. So, in a sense, it's not necessarily too surprising, but they were undefeated and they lost. The Rams, they squeaked by and got a big time win. Bacon Grizzly, shout out to you, boy. What's
Shout out to
good?
Grizz.
What's
What's
up,
up,
young man? Or young old? I don't know how old you are, Bacon, but shout out to you, home B.
bro?
But at the end of the day, the Rams, they got a much needed victory to try to, continue to salvage a season, even though what has been developing in the last week or so. Are we really sure? But for this game alone, James Tatum, these are NFC teams, and one team is ahead of you. So this is an important game for you guys, or maybe just what it is. Who you got in this game and why?
This is a really interesting game too because we have been hearing the possibility of Matthew Stafford being traded to the Vikings. So this is an interesting game. But the greatest Sam Darnold playing, they still talking about Stafford and trade rumors. That sounds a little crazy to me, but if it's true, then this is the audition. Stafford, if you want to show this team what it is, then show them what it is. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Cooper Kupp, I don't know if he's back yet. They've been talking about he's going to get traded too. So the Rams are so much of an unpredictable team that I am going to say it's a trap game. So Rams can win this. Vikings probably will. I think Vikings are going to get back on the right track after they lost last week. I just think they got a little more talent, a little bit more weapons than what the Rams have. So I'll take the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep. The Rams, honestly, are a team that is, you just feel bad because they don't have the talent. Their talent's hurt. But, they are in the process, more than likely, probably, rebuilding because one of the part of the reasons why that they were looking at Sam Darnold is that they want to build behind him long term. So I think it's more of a let's rebuild because I don't know. Stafford's getting old. Maybe we know something they don't know. But I still think the Vikings win this game because at the end of the day, I think the Vikings are the better team. And I think the Rams are just not going to have enough to get through the Vikings. It's going to be interesting because the Vikings are on the road. And they do want to rebound against this Detroit after Detroit lost because, again, they got to stay up with the division and also keep the other teams from passing them. So, with that said, we are going to go to our next game. Give me 1 second, guys. Drum roll, please. Oh, man. It is our very own James Tatum. So, my boy, I'm going to let you do the breakdown.
Eagles versus Bengals. Now, the Bengals' record is not what people expected it to be, but they're playing at home. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think that the receiver duo that they have is tied for the most touchdowns since 2022. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, tied with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So I feel that this game, throw the defense out the window. Whoever gets the ball last is probably going to win, similar to the high-scoring game that happened a few weeks ago with the Ravens and Bengals. I think it will be the same. But the Eagles need to stick to what their identity is. We don't need, as great as A.J. Brown is, he's going to make his plays. We've seen it the last 2 weeks since he's been back. But we're not a air raiding type of offense. We got a great offensive line. We got a quarterback that can run, and we got one of the best running backs in the league, Saquon Barkley. You saw what happened to last week against the Giants, against his former team. You saw what happened. That is the team that we are. We run the ball, we use our offensive line, and then we let the game come to us. Don't force anything that's not there, which was an issue with Jalen Hurts turning the ball over in the early season. If you stick to this, I think this is how we can win football games. Run the ball. Don't get 3-and-outs, because if you just keep getting off the field and giving the ball to Joe Burrow, it's a problem. It's a problem. High scoring game, but the Eagles win.
You know, it's interesting, and I know it. Part of what their favorite does have to do with why it's said, but the Bengals have, I think, won 3 of the last 5, and one of the games they lost overtime to the second best team in the AFC conference. Even throughout the season, as the slow start has been going on, there has always been the consensus amongst the people that Cincinnati is just going to eventually get there. And now, after winning 3 of the last 5 or 2 of the last 3, and now at 3-4, they are a dangerous 3-4 team. So the favorites part makes perfect sense because it's not about the record. It's about the guys you just said, Joe Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. It's about Chase Brown and Zach Moss, who out here are still making up for what Joe Mixon had. Their defense is a problem. However, their offense being able to still score with the best of them makes me understand why. And honestly, I do think that they're going to win this game because I think that it's not about Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is dynamic. They're great. But I do think, I will say, I think the more explosive offense with their quarterback play is Joe Burrow currently, even though the run game is being catapulted by Saquon Barkley. I think Joe is in a flow with Jamar and T as T got back here, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I honestly think it's going to come down to Joe Burrow having to score a touchdown to win, which is going to make an epic game. And I think his coolness and his Joe Cool, however you want to do it, is going to shine through. But it's going to be more of an indentation or indication of Cincinnati keep digging out the hole than Philadelphia, because I think Philadelphia and everything, I think they're going to play great. I just think I think Cincinnati's just going to get that game. And the other game that they lost arguably was a couple of plays away from beating the 6-0 Chiefs. So it's like they're not a team that you look at the record and be like, oh, easy win. If you see them, you're going to have to play them because they are a good team. They just had a very bad start, and they're figuring it out. Do you have any more thoughts on this before we transition? Or if you want to transition.
I do not have any more thoughts. I'm good.
Absolutely. So we got the rivalry showdown, but the Browns indicate this won't be the dogfight it should be. Brown struggles indicate this won't be the dogfight it should be. I never really like to sit there and do this with divisional games because they're divisional games. You know what I'm saying? Like we've won against the 12-2 or 12-13-2 Pittsburgh Steelers with Ryan Mallett at quarterback against Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell when we had nobody playing. Cincinnati, when they have been down, have beaten Pittsburgh at their worst. So in this division, you just never know, honestly. With that said, I just think with what the Ravens have been doing on offense it's strong. It is strong.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I am excited that we're playing with this team because of the coordinator is the big knock on Lamar in terms of expanding his passing game was handling the blitz, reading defenses, and being able to make adjustments. Year 2, he's been killing the blitz. So with that element there, I love to see how he's going to handle this challenge because Myles Garrett has been a problem. If you watch these games, you know Myles Garrett gets to Lamar Jackson. Myles Garrett has been a dominant force against this team. Yeah. I have to say, when I see King Henry run this football, I will say it makes life easier for everyone really is a perfect symbiosis between Lamar and Derrick Henry. When one helps the other one helps one. Derrick gets never. I don't think Derrick's seen the lanes he's had here and other places. And Lamar, I don't think has really seen the defenses play so close and then actually commit more as opposed to just dropping back in coverage like they did before. So I will say, I will think I do have the Ravens winning this game, but I have them winning by a touchdown. I have them winning 30, 28, 21.
Okay.
You, James, what you think?
I don't know what to say about the Browns are just a team that's really struggling, but I really can't pinpoint. Is this really all Deshaun Watson? This is going to be the game to show us. Because if they come with more energy, like with Jameis, then I think that's a conversation that we will really have to revisit down the road.
100%.
But it is at Cleveland, so it's not going to be an easy task. That's a road game. That's a crazy fan base as well. So it could be tough for the Ravens. But with what we've seen, it's hard to doubt this team. It's hard to doubt what Lamar is doing just when you feel like you've seen what is the best of Lamar. He comes out last week, 5 touchdown passes. He's feeling it. Derrick Henry's feeling it. And the Ravens just look like they're the best team in the NFL today. Is it going to stay that way? We will have to monitor it. I don't know because the NFL season goes in so many different ways as the season goes on. But the Ravens right now are playing like the best team in the NFL. So I feel like that's going to continue this week and they win.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they are starting to get in form. And I ain't saying I'm being too excited, but the Ravens are in the process of getting another weapon back. And he's
JJ, what you think about this comparison before we go to the next game?
Not, to Lamar, but not to Myles Garrett because
Bandit Keith was kind of like a bully. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he cheated. He's a cheater. Myles isn't a cheater. Myles is, you could say Myles could be in just the individual matchup and being able
if he uses steroids, he's cheating, but we don't know.
Maybe, but I don't know if he's that. I think he's that specimen. We're not going to get into how I really feel about Myles Garrett. Let's wrap it back around.
Yeah, let's go. Let's not get distracted. Now let's talk about Mr. Dominant.
To your point, though, I will sit there. I look at Myles just more than just for the dominance and the ability to trash talk. He's more of a less effective or super effective, but not as dominant Kaiba for Joey Wheeler because they get in the back and forth, and he gets him, but he doesn't always get him. Now we go to the Titans and the Lions. Double-digit spread, you guys. You already know how I feel about that. So, we're going to leave it there. But the Lions look great. The Lions, I wish Don was here because Don would give an amazing reference as he breaks this down. And he'd be like, well, and give the person's government name and then go through what they did and stuff. And then he'll say something really horrible about the quarterback, Will Levis, and he'll just go through. But on reality is the Titans defense is great, but they're playing against a Detroit team that is rolling on all cylinders. The offense is clicking like no tomorrow. Jared Goff is an MVP candidate playing out of his mind, and they look good. They look like, and they are now the team that is considered the class of the NFC. They are considered the team that everyone needs to be gunning for. And when you watch them, I don't honestly think right now you can disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? They're playing fantastic football. But I want to ask you, James, because this team is another one that you guys are having your eyes set on as we go down the stretch. Can Tennessee win or can they cover? Can they win or can they cover? Which is more likely to happen?
I don't think either one is likely.
Smart man.
I don't think either one is likely. But I guess I would, if I had to pick, I guess I would say cover because I don't think there's any way that they're going to win this game. Not at all. Not with the way that the Lions are playing. They destroyed Dallas 2 weeks ago. They won an intense game against undefeated Minnesota. Jared Goff probably looks the best he has in his career. St. Brown balling, Gibbs balling, Montgomery, like they just have so many ways they can hurt you. Jameson Williams suspended for using performance enhancing drugs again, so this guy's always suspended for something. So that deep threat is missing for them, but I still think they will be fine. So I got the Lions winning easily.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think the Lions are. I gave through a mess of praise and different things going on. I do think they're going to roll this team, and I think they're going to be very comfortable because the trenches, offensive line is going to. Their offense is insane. I do think this is going to be that matchup where they will cover that spread. So now we are done with our teams. Let's get back to it, guys. Dun dun dun. We have the Arizona Cardinals. I think I got it right. And the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa is set to return. We know, and let's bring him in. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a pause on this game. What's going on, Jay? And we're going to revert back
it up.
Hold on 1 second. I actually forgot to. Hold on one second. I forgot to give me like 5 seconds. Hold on.
All right. He ain't ready yet.
I was literally about to do a great thing, but Jay's not ready.
Hey, you know what? You threw the lob, but he didn't catch it, so that's all right.
It's all good, bro. Hey, I'm from Washington. I threw the ball away. That's how we do over here, okay? In the Wizards games, we throw it together. All right, look at that.
Now we're going back again.
Right. Now we're going to go back, and we're going to give it to Denzel Snipes, Jay Nelson, the guy who has so many goddamn nicknames. You sometimes forget his real name. Anyway, go ahead and break this down for us, and then we'll get.
Wait, so you're saying his real name isn't Neil?
To the surprise of many, no, it's not.
Right.
That's an inside joke. That's an inside joke.
And when we first joined Sideline Sports, the first ever meeting, it was funny you had to be there. Colts, Texans, man, we're favored by a touchdown. This is a divisional rivalry game, and of course, week one we did beat them by 2 and everything. And the Colts, as it says at the bottom, they do need to keep pace with us if they want to have a chance in the AFC South. Now, we did lose a heartbreaker last week. And I think that DeMeco Ryans learned his lesson in playing conservative in the final 2 minutes. And that's just inexperience talking. He'll learn. He'll definitely look at the tape and see the things that he could have done right. But I'm going to, of course, go Texans on this one. Bounce back win that we need. It'll be a tad close. Let's see. Bacon says he's got about 6. I'll say Texans 24-17.
James?
I think the Texans will win this game. I just cannot trust Anthony Richardson. He doesn't have the consistency. He doesn't have the accuracy. He doesn't make the right decisions. I think that Anthony Richardson is a liability, and I think that's probably the biggest reason that I don't like the Colts' chance to win this game. If Flacco was still playing, I would say Indianapolis is more dangerous with Flacco than with Anthony Richardson. Despite how young he is, I just don't think that Anthony Richardson is a franchise quarterback.
Interesting enough, he was the guy that was quarterbacking that 2-point loss or so to those Houston Texans, but it was week 1. I do think he needs a little bit more time to get himself in the flow because he hasn't really had that chance, and it kind of shows big time. He's unfortunately not accurate right now, and he's relying on his legs, which he still is, which is good for him and everything. But at the same time, he's hurt. This game, I think, because you see Kansas City, because you see Buffalo, because you see Baltimore, because you see Pittsburgh, Houston knows they have to win this game because they more than likely have the division. But maybe, maybe more or less, they're focusing on seeding, and there are so many teams that's conjoined right now, and they have to make sure they keep pace. Right. I don't like that spread, though, because I do think in a divisional matchup, especially, I do believe Jonathan Taylor's still playing or so. When you have divisional matchups, you guys know each other, so you can still find holes and weaknesses because you know each other. So I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I do got the Texans win this game because I know the Texans see what's around them. They know they got to keep it going. All of them know they got to keep it going.
And we just signed a little bit of help on defense. Linebacker Devin White signed to the Texans. So, yeah, and Houston's a little, just a tad bit banged up. Nico Collins is week to week, last I checked, but we do have receivers that step up and everything. We still got our run game. If Mixon can get going like he did last week, or just the running game in general, because we had over 100 yards rushing in the first half against Green Bay. So, if we can get the running game going, I think we'll be solid. But I still got Texans 24-17.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. So with that said, we're going to go back. We got everybody in Texans. We're going to go to the Arizona Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins. As stated, Tua Tagovailoa has returned. And we know when he is in that offense, everybody over there is just like, whew. I mean, the entire offense was designed around his skill set. So there is promise to why this team is favored. Arizona is not a bad team, but they're not a great team. Now, they did sneak in a good win against those Los Angeles Chargers. My brother, I feel for him. But in this game...
Charging.
Whatever. You're right. Okay. Anyway.
JJ tried not to say it, too. He tried not to say it.
He ain't going to say it, but I will.
And because, that's my brother. My brother's over there, man. I'm not going to do that to my boy. I'm my brother's keeper, except for when you do something wrong. I'll just tell you in your back. I just tell you about it to yourself when you're private. But in public, no, yes, I'm not happy with my brother. Anyway, with that said, guys, let's go back to the man who just got on, Neo or Mr. Anderson, however you want to call it. And with that said, who do you have in this game? Are you going AFC or NFC in this one?
Oh, see, the Cardinals are really sneaky. They known for winning games that they shouldn't. And I know it's the Dolphins. They kind of have, as Don would say it, that automatic 3-point favorite because they're at home. Had this have been in Arizona, it would have been Cardinals by 3, maybe even by 2. The X factor, if the Cardinals are going to win, is going to be MHJ. If MHJ can get going, then I don't see how the Dolphins could win. The Dolphins, we got to see how Tua looks getting back and settled in. Now Tyreek Hill is excited to have him back and such. And again, I don't think there's anyone on that Cardinals defense that can cover him. But of course, Tyreek Hill is not the entire team. But I'm gonna lean Cardinals on this one, y'all. I think they can. I think they can get him another one. It wouldn't exactly be stealing a game because the Dolphins are kind of down right now. But I'm gonna take the Cardinals. I'll say Cardinals 25-20. It's one of odd scores.
Okay. So you got the Cardinals beating the Dolphins in Tua's return at his house. That's really interesting. I like that. I like the little boldness with that because, everybody's leaning to that. James Tatum, Kyler Murray, or Tua. Why do I sound so productive saying that? Go ahead. Kyle Tua.
Honestly, I can't answer that question. Because I don't think that I would want either of them either as my quarterback.
No,
but I'm really not going
to win the game. Not who's your
I'm not going to go into it with that, but that's my answer to that question. Who I trust more? I don't trust either one of them. So this game could go either way, but I don't think the Dolphins have had the consistency the whole year. If you look at how they look, even Mike McDaniel has been questioned as a coach because he was looked as a very dynamic coach and play caller. They are not calling any good plays. Play calling is a big problem for the Miami Dolphins. So I think that in this particular game, it's just going to be outcoached. It's going to come down to coaching, and I think the Cardinals staff is just going to be a little bit better. And I don't think it has as much to do with Kyler Murray. I just don't think, even with Tua coming back, I just don't trust the Dolphins to come out and be really prepared. And that's what I think it comes down to.
Interesting. So we have 2 for Arizona. I'm going to go with the team because I do know when there's a team designed around you and everything is based off of what you see and what you do, I'm going to err and think that there's going to be able to pick it back up. I am going to think that they are going to be able to figure it out. I actually think they're going to surprise people and win this game kind of handily. I actually have them winning by about 2 scores. And I think what's going to happen is Tyreek's props are going to go back up. His fantasy is going to go back up. Waddle's fantasy is going to go back up. 8 Chain's fantasy is going to go back up. Because when your quarterback is that dynamic and has had that type of success in that team, there ain't nothing that offense he doesn't know. And so you do have the ability. I can bank on that. And I do think that Arizona's a decent team. But I think Miami's going to come out here, and then now everybody's going to be like starting to look at them because I think they're still going to – they're going to light it up. And I've got them winning 35-21.
Okay.
So we are going to go to our next game. Boom, 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 boom. We have an AFC East showdown. We got Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams versus Drake May and Gerard Mayo. Both interesting enough. Savvy veterans as quarterback and wide receiver versus the rookies and head coach and quarterback. The Patriots they don't have high expectations. What they're looking for now is just to see the development of Drake May and see how he handles the NFL situation. There was a lot of buzz about feeling confident in how he managed his first game last week. And then now you go to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, who at this point, I think it's safe to say they need a win.
Yeah.
I think if they need a win for any purpose, honestly, they could be ugly win. They just need to get something to a win. And so I'm going to turn it to you, James. Since the team that is the Jets only lives maybe you're like 2.5 hours between both places. Yeah. No, you're like 4 hours between Boston, like 2 hours to New York. So who do you have in this AFC East showdown?
I just want to say something, though. I said it last week that the Jets going to Pittsburgh is not don't write this off that they're going to win. And I said they really needed to. I think the Jets are in serious trouble now, but I think they'll win this game. But they are on very, very thin ice, and as more the season goes, it's just going to be more pressure. And Aaron Rodgers is going to have to take that on. It doesn't matter that he's 40 years old. He was brought to the Jets for a reason, to help them compete for a Super Bowl, and the Jets have not met the expectation at all for this entire season. Then that's not acceptable. They have to go out and dominate this game, and they should. If they want to be taken any seriously or have any seriousness for the season, they got to go out and dominate because what they've done this season is not acceptable.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I do think the Jets have a lot that they are like, oh my gosh, we just need to win. You got to win this game. I don't really like the spread, to be honest with you, but at the end of the day, hey, I think that's Vegas' way of making some money. Anyway, I will go with the Jets on this one, but I got the Jets. I got the Patriots covering because it's a work. It's a lot of factors that go into that. Moving on,
I didn't get my choice. I didn't get my pick.
I thought I gave it to you. My bad. Sorry about that. You know what? I'm in timeout. You go.
You know what? I'll keep it short. This is the last damn time I'm picking the Jets' ass this season. Okay. If they lose this game, I don't give a good goddamn if they play the Birmingham Stallions. I'm taking the Stallions, okay?
Yo.
Jets, this your last time. I'm going to pick the New York Jets 20-17.
Man, I felt that way. That's exactly how I felt about Mr. Watson's props when he lost to Washington. The whole, suspect secondary. I was like, you know what? It's the last time I'm messing with your team. It's the last time I'm messing with your offense because I can't rely on nothing with this one, man.
That's how I feel about Mike Evans because I bet his prop and he dropped a wide open touchdown and tore his hamstring. So I'm done with him after that.
Well, perfect segue. Mind you, everyone on this panel knows me. I don't never sit there and quit on a player or a bet or a prop if I ever do it. But I definitely was like, when I was betting, I was like, no, we're not doing this again. I'm not going to keep losing this money because every time I did, I only needed one player, and it happened to be a Browns goddamn player. So with that being said, we have a perfect segue to the Falcons and the Bucks. Who remembers a couple weeks ago was a huge, amazing Thursday night matchup, high scoring. The Falcons came out and won in overtime. The Bucks have a huge change of events in the span of one game after losing to Baltimore. They are down their top 2 wide receivers, and Chris Godwin is going to be gone for the rest of the year. This is a big deal for this team, and Baker was looking good. But before I give you guys this breakdown, the one thing I will say that I did notice in last game is that we couldn't stop it, but whenever he was hot, his first 2 reads is always Evans and Godwin. And when Evans had subtracted, it became Godwin. Once Godwin got taken out of the game, that's when he started to struggle. Now both guys are out, so I do think there's all eyes on how Baker handles this Atlanta Falcons defense. So I will turn it to you, James Tatum. They are in the NFC. I think you play both of these teams. I'm not sure.
We lost to both of these teams.
Oh, there you
But
go.
Saquon Barkley catches one ball, the Eagles will be 5-1. That's all I'm going to say.
So take it away.
Baker is missing his 2 best receivers. You can't really put your expectations of the Buccaneers offense too high because they don't really have anybody with notable experience besides Sterling Shepard, and he's mostly been like a 3rd receiver throughout his career. So I'm not going to pick the Buccaneers to win this game. I just don't have any reason to. I don't think it's a knock against Baker. I think what Baker has done is fantastic. But you take away anybody's top 2 receivers. We saw what happened with Jalen Hurts, with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown out. You just can't rely on guys with no experience to come in the game and do something. So I think that's the difference. The Falcons like what they're doing. Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney's having a good season. Ray McLeod's making some plays here and there, and Drake London having a really good season. So I like the Falcons to win this one.
Jay?
Simple. Who the hell's Baker going to throw to? Himself? Falcons in a blowout, 30-10. And you know, as far as this goes, and I know it's unfortunate that Mike Evans is lost and Chris Godwin is lost, but that happening may have just handed the Falcons the division because we don't know what the hell's wrong with the Saints. And the Carolina Panthers are on the NFL equivalent of academic suspension. Again, Falcons in a blowout, 30-10.
You know what's interesting about this is the one saving grace that might give Tampa Bay a chance is they can run the football. When you do have, and Baker is a play-action quarterback, now when it gets to that point, it is more or less about can those targets connect with Baker. I don't know if it's going to be enough to beat the Falcons, but I will say, Jay and James, I don't know if it's going to be a blowout of that fashion. I think it's one of those things where it's going to be a huge lead up, maybe 17-3 at half or 17-3 in the first quarter. But I got this Falcons team in a bit of a herky-jerky type of game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I have the Falcons winning this game. I do think so.
Herky-jerky? Did you just say herky-jerky?
Herky-jerky. You know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You know, it's
Just
gonna be
invented a new word.
That sounds like JJ came out with his own brand of beef jerky that's like THC infused, and that would be the name of it, herky-jerky.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Okay.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Maybe we can go to the patent office. You know, what's up? What's going on? But with that being said, we will go to our next game. We have the Packers 5-2 with, appreciate you guys for that one, beating the Houston Texans. And then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, FYI, last week, did we all pick Texans or did one of us pick Packers? I feel like one of us picked Packers.
I think one did pick the Packers.
I picked the Packers.
Okay, good. I should have picked
Mhm.
the Packers too, but that's okay. We're all right. So now we're going to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got to win, yo. They got to win. It was against New England, but who cares? They got to win, yo. All
Still
right.
trash.
Are any of you guys surprised at this spread? And if you said, but after that, give me your point, your take. Who you going to get winning?
I would have said Packers by a touchdown, but I'm not exactly mad at the spread. Can the Jaguars be sneaky and keep it competitive? I mean, last week the Texans picked off the Jordan Love twice, but also the Jags defense is not as good as the Texans, so there's that. But yeah, I got the Packers by 10. The only thing that would keep them in this game is letting Tank Bigsby loose, because he's been, for as bad as the Jags have been, he's been putting in some serious work. Um, but if they can get him going, that will give them half a chance. But at the end of the day, I like Jordan Love and that young offense that's building, gaining experience game by game. Romeo Dobbs, Kraft, Watson and company. Yeah, give me the Packers in this one. I'll take the Packers 27-17.
James Tatum.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get absolutely destroyed in this game. They have one of the worst passing defenses in the league. Even a rookie quarterback like Drake May was still able to carve them up. He passed for 276. 276, almost 300 yards passing for Drake May. And who does he even throw the ball to on New England? And you're going against Green Bay with Jaden Reed, really dynamic player, Christian Watson, and Kraft, and these boys. Jordan Love can cook against this game, against this team. And I think he will. I think Jordan Love is going to throw for 400 yards in this game, and the Jaguars are going to get destroyed.
Okay.
So it's going to be way over that 4.5 spread.
For the record, Drake May is throwing to guys named Kayshawn Booty.
I ain't going to lie to you.
I got no comment on that.
Look it up.
He's the LSU wide receiver. Keyshawn Boutte. Yeah, he was with Jaden Daniels, and he had a bad attitude and everything like that.
Listen, all I'm going to say is the first time that man drops a wide open touchdown, people are going to be saying he's booty and stuff. So I wouldn't want to be him.
Most of people would say. And so, Keyshawn Boutte. But with that being said, if I was Vegas, that's a trap for people out here. If I was Vegas, that's a trap. That spread looks like a trap. That spread looks like a trap to make people take the over and pound it. I mean, pound it away. I got the Packers winning, but I definitely think the Jags are covering, because that right there looks like a trap. Jags are bad to a lot of people. You guys just said it. If I know how people are betting and what I've started to learn and watch, that's a trap. And that is meant for Vegas to have everybody be on them. Much like they did last time against the Commanders and Ravens, which when I saw that 6.5 spread, I said we're going to win by 7 for that reason, because everyone in their mama.
And they won by 7. Mm-hmm.
Bingo. Everyone in their mama is on that spread. So if you really want to see if this is going, this is just my theory. Let's see how the lines go, what the odds are for that thing. If that joint changes to a point below, a point up to like 5, just to make people enticed or whatever, I'm taking the Jaguars to cover even more. But I got the Packers winning this game, strictly because I think they are the better team. But this game has me looking at Vegas like
sideways.
Let's see what funky, crazy situation may happen in this game. That's what I really honestly feel like when it comes to this game, because to James's point, this game should be a blowout. Should. But if Vegas wants to make some money, it ain't. It ain't. Because I promise you, what's happening with people as well is not only they're doing the spread, they're doing alternate spreads of 5.5, 6.5. especially those overconfident ones. This really got you. With that said, off the soapbox, guys, we're moving on. And we're going to go to, I love you, James. I really do. But this team that you said was a very good team early on that we all started to agree on, man, oh man, it's on the other side now. Like, they are just not a good team. And they are facing the Los Angeles Chargers, who are an average team in Los Angeles. But I want to revert. Let's get the AFC guys' representation or idea on this game. You have, I don't even know who's the quarterback at the Saints right now.
Spencer Rattler.
Oh, yeah. Spencer Rattler or Justin Herbert? Herbie boy. The guy everybody said was better than Lamar Jackson, that y'all should have let him go. Just want to let y'all know that it's interesting when you don't have the weapons on your squad. That looks different. Love you, Justin Herbert. It's not about you, but it's about all the people out here that sat here and said that man was better than Lamar Jackson. I'm still wondering where, and I want to know why. But go ahead, Jay. Take it away.
Chargers bounce back game easy. Yeah, Kamara might have signed his extension and everything. It won't make a damn. Spencer Rattler just did not have too many people convinced with his play thus far. And this seems like a game where the Chargers should absolutely get it. Now, that line, this is just me. I would have said Chargers by 9, but okay, whatever. I'm not mad at it. But yeah, give me the Chargers in this one. I don't see the Saints scoring too many points in this one unless somehow that run defense falls asleep and Kamara goes for another 4-touchdown day like he did against Dallas. But I'll take the Chargers. Give me the Chargers 28-17.
28-17.
Yep.
It's a lot of points for these squads. Go ahead.
First
James
of all,
Tatum.
what I said about the Saints, I'm glad the Saints are losing because when they played the Eagles, they were playing dirty. They tried to injure Devontae Smith on purpose, and they succeeded. Another play, the guy tried to break Saquon Barkley's leg, pulling on his leg after he scored a touchdown. So the Saints are a dirty team, and they deserve every single thing that has come their way, including 5 straight losses, which is also going to be 6 after Justin Herbert has a career game against the Saints, and the Chargers win. That's all I have to say about that.
Absolutely. Looks like JJ had some technical issues, but we'll just move on to the Bills and Hawks real fast. Well, Bills and Seahawks, and I put down their potential game of the week. You may feel different, you may feel the same, but this is a great matchup. Oh, there's JJ. All right, go ahead.
Let's go back because I didn't.
Because he didn't give his take on the on Chargers Saints. Go ahead, man.
Let's go back. Let's rewind. Chargers. I don't think they're going to. Chargers. I don't want to take that spread. They're not. These teams are average, below average. They're not ready where they are. Whatever multiple reasons, but I got the Chargers. Now we go over to the next game. We have the Buffalo Bills, 5-2, leading their division. Josh Allen has been playing great, has not turned the football over by way of interception this year, and has a new bright, shiny weapon who got his first touchdown last week in Amari Cooper, going against the Seattle Seahawks, who had a huge bounce-back victory against the Atlanta Falcons last week. Huge bounce-back victory. We have Geno Smith. The Seahawks, they're talented, but they're not the best. They're going against Josh Allen and the Bills. James Tatum, who are you having this matchup, and why?
I got Buffalo because I trust the quarterback more than Geno Smith. I think that what we've seen from this Seattle team is, yes, they're a good team. They're inconsistent. Don't forget, this team lost to the New York Giants. So I'm rolling with Josh Allen to go in there and put on a great performance. Maybe Amari Cooper makes his debut, has a good game. I got Buffalo winning this one.
I will say the Giants have been playing a little bit better as of late. Not winning the game.
What do you mean as of late? They just lost by 25 at home.
They ain't won shit.
They just lost by 25 at home to the Eagles.
They ain't won nothing.
They're y'all. I'm talking about that's y'all. But against a team like Seattle or an average team or an inconsistently trying to be good team, they've been playing pretty decent against them.
And DK Metcalf is also out for this game.
Oh.
FYI.
We still got Jackson. Okay. Anyway, James, you said that Buffalo. Jay Nelson.
Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
Who are you going with, Jay?
You know, a good example of team ball. I watched a TikTok, and this guy had broken down this play, and it was so true. And alluding to when you mentioned Amari Cooper's first touchdown. So Josh Allen called an audible at the line of scrimmage. Now, mind you, Amari Cooper had just gotten to Buffalo like 2 days prior, right? So he barely had time to look at the playbook. So as Josh Allen is changing the play, he's going to play two, and Amari is looking at rookie Keon Coleman, and he's like, "Bro, what's play two?" Keon Coleman directs him where to go, dude. Just run straight and lose that safety. He does so, boom, touchdown. Great example of team ball for a guy that just came in and, again, barely had time to look at the playbook. Bills are very dangerous. And it's safe to say, probably safe to say 2-3 weeks ago, but whatever, that this is the Bills' division to lose. I've got the Bills winning. I'll take the Buffalo Bills 28-20. Hopefully, K9 gets me some couple of points in fantasy. And with the absence of DK Metcalf, maybe JSN can get some looks for me as well. Also, I would expect Lockett to do a little bit more as well. But it won't be enough. Bills mob. Y'all got it.
Okay. I'm going to go Bills in this one as well because I do think they are the better team. I do think that, all the teams in the top of the AFC know that they have to bring their best football pretty much week in, week out because it's so congested. But I got the Bills winning this game. What's the next game? Brum, 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 bum, 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 bum. I want to guess, but I'm pretty sure I got it right. Thank you. I knew I had it right. It's the Bryce Young starting now. Bryce Young. Interesting enough. But I want to know is it really him? Because after that first game against Andy Dalton went amazing toe-to-toe with the Bengals squad. I mean, most quarterbacks really do go hard for the team they play against, but that's neither here nor there. That's nothing to factor into. Anyway, with that said, condemn this man, threw him to the wolves. And guess what? That team had looked just as bad, if not worse, with Dalton after that fact than with Bryce. At the end of the day, the team is bad. Bryce is not there yet, but he's not been given enough time to get there. You have so much going on with the team. And at the end of the day, I don't know when it's going to have people clicking in their head to realize, stop judging every one of these new quarterbacks as if they're Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, any of that yet. Some of them do need time. And first-round picks do need time eventually. It took Geno Smith 9 years to get to this point. So at the end of the day,
Darnold.
Bingo. It took Sam Darnold almost 7, 8 years to get to this point. Give him time. He has a chance. If you practice something long enough, you'll get through it. You'll figure it out. But when you keep practicing, you get stopped and you got to move, you got to switch and stuff. I'd like to see everybody go through some of the things that these quarterbacks go through, and let's see what your production is like. Because I promise you it ain't going to be just as good as his. It might be worse. So give these guys some time. With that said, they're facing a ferocious Denver Broncos defense. That was a little tangent soapbox I was on right there. That's Spencer Bryce, but more to all the young quarterbacks, but either here or there. Whew. That was a lot I said. Let me calm down. James Tatum.
So wait, are you picking the Broncos, I'm assuming?
I'm going last. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and talk. So James Tatum, who do you got? The Denver
Broncos. I got the Broncos. The Broncos are going to roll. The Panthers are terrible. They have a laundry list of problems. And, I don't think any of it is solved. So I'm picking the Broncos.
Okay.
Well, there isn't really too much to say. I mean, I would have said Broncos by 12. I don't care if it is Bo Nix. But the Panthers are horrible. Again, NFL's version of academic suspension. Broncos 28-7.
Every time I get like this.
Broncos defense looking good too. But go ahead, JJ.
I want to do it. I really want to do it. I think I'm going to do it.
He's going to pick
I'm
the
going with
Panthers.
the Carolina Panthers.
I knew it.
Denver
knew it.
Broncos. I just think this is literally strictly like, this could go either way. I think Denver's defense is strong, but I do think I need to see more from Bo Nix and their squad. They could get crushed, but I'm going to be the lone wolf and take the Carolina Panthers to get their second win
Second.
against the Denver Broncos.
Won't be second.
Oh! With that said, we're going to move on to the next game. We have an AFC West tilt. Now, this is a team that even when Mahomes and them were looking fantastic, has been a divisional issue, a divisional problem, a divisional thorn. Now, Derek Carr's not there, nor is Devontae Adams, or Josh Jacobs. So it's completely different. The Chiefs, I don't know if it's finalized, but they are in the process of acquiring DeAndre Hopkins because they know that they have to continue having their offense. Their offense eventually is going to have to score some points when you see the other teams that they may have to face to
The
get
trade
another
was
reach.
finalized today.
So it was finalized. DeAndre Hopkins is going there. We don't know if he's starting, but if he is, are the Chiefs – what do you think – two things. What do you think DeAndre Hopkins does for the offense, and who do you have winning this game?
DeAndre Hopkins provides a lot of experience to this team. We know he's been in the league for a long time. He's been the best receiver in the league for a period as well. So the guy knows how to play. He knows how to contribute. So with the injuries to their receiving core, Rashee Rice, the trade makes a lot of sense. But the Chiefs are going to win this game just because they're the dominant team of this division. And also the Raiders are a clown show. We saw what was the Raiders doing at training camp. There was a video of them playing with a Kermit the Frog thing that had like a Mahomes hairstyle on it in a Chiefs jersey. This is what you do. Clowns think about other people. And that's what the Raiders are. And they're going to get clowned. And I don't think it's going to be a close game.
Jay?
Absolutely great move. Bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, like James said, with the injury to the receiver core. The thing that I probably like the most, aside from the potential, chance that D Hop could finally win a ring, is the veteran presence of DeAndre Hopkins. I want to see how he does in a mentorship role to a young receiver like Xavier Worthy, and if his mentorship is going to help him make a better receiver, because we're seeing raw talent out of Worthy, and we know he got the potential to be that dog, but just wait till he's refined, and I think D-Hop is going to be instrumental in that. I don't have nothing to say about the Raiders, okay? Read the goddamn bottom. That's all y'all need to know. Chiefs 32-10.
Okay. Yeah, I got the Chiefs crushing this one. I think that they are just a better team, and I think their defense is about to swallow the Raiders. And I think that their defense is going to come up with a couple scores or a couple of change of possessions, and I think the Chiefs are just going to capitalize. Moving on.
Just a disclaimer. Jaden Daniels ruled out this will not be a battle of the top two quarterbacks. Marcus Mariota to start.
Okay. Marcus Mariota is starting for the Washington Commanders. This was a very highly anticipated matchup because two quarterbacks that were taken first and second, their teams are changing their cultures, changing their tides, changing everything. You got people in Chicago already calling Caleb Williams the best quarterback in Chicago history. That's how much they've been desperate for something like this and how much he is changing the culture in just a short few of games. But he's going against Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders because that's Jaden Daniels. But I do believe he is still questionable. Last time I looked at the injury report, he is questionable. Who knows? But as of right now, he's not starting and he's not playing. But, Jay Nelson, who do you have in this game?
Well, Jaden Daniels doesn't start. This game just went from the battle of the Heisman quarterbacks to the battle of the Heisman quarterbacks. But with that being said, that Bears defense is going to tell the tale because it has been it has been surprisingly good this year. Maybe not a shock to a lot of people. I actually expect a close game, even though Mariota is in there. I actually expect a close game, but I'm going to take the Bears in this one. It may come down to a walk-off field goal. Bears 27-24.
Okay.
James?
I think that not having Jaden Daniels this game drastically changes everything. They're not going to be the same team if he's not available. Marcus Mariota is a guy that does have some experience, but I just don't think he has enough to go out and win you a game. I just don't think he has it. So I'm going to pick the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams, better than Marcus Mariota.
Okay. So I am actually going to go with the Chicago Bears on this one because I do think their defense is for real, and I think Chicago's going to be a wild card playoff team in this mix. I think the NFC North is going to send 3, maybe 4,
They're the best division this season.
maybe 4. But if Jaden Daniels was playing, I would have said 3 because you got.
I think it's the right decision to sit him. The Commanders do not want another RG3 situation.
Absolutely not, of course. So with that being said, I am going to take the Bears to win this game. But I would have loved to see Jaden Daniels. Maybe we'll get it next year. Moving on, because I think we all picked – you picked Commanders.
We all picked the Bears?
We all pick Bears.
We've all picked the Bears. So next, we're going to a Sunday night matchup that has so much history in it. So much history. To a point in time, for about 4 years in the 90s, these two teams won Super Bowls. These two teams won Super Bowls. But we're a long way from there. These teams know each other, been around each other, but these teams are in very different positions and are not exactly looking like what they probably thought they would at this point in the season. I think we all can agree. Some may probably feel like Dallas was going to be it, but as James, maybe I a little bit didn't feel like
not San Francisco, but definitely Dallas.
San Francisco, because San Francisco has that mystique. James Tatum, this is definitely up your alley. This is definitely up your alley. You know these teams better than both of us on this channel.
I wish both these teams could lose. That would really make me happy. But unfortunately, only one of them can, unless there's a tie, which I would also take that, to be honest. But I have to say, the 49ers have so many injuries, and the Cowboys, this is a game that the Cowboys need to win to save their season. The Cowboys are a clown show, and there's going to be more comments that are made about the Cowboys on Friday, so make sure you guys tune into the show. Just a disclaimer. With that being said, I just think the Cowboys are so much of a mentally weak team that the 49ers injuries isn't even going to matter. It's not. And the 49ers win this game.
I will jump in this one. Nope. I want to go ahead, James. Who do you have? Jay Nelson, who you got?
Oh, the Cowboys are seemingly in a downward spiral. Like James said, even with the Niners' injuries, it's not going to matter. I mean, who does the Niners – well, they still have Kittle. They still got Jordan Mason. If Jordan Mason and Cowboys defense has been suspect, still no Micah Parsons also. So that should help the Niners. Jordan Mason can get going, and Brock Purdy can limit the mistakes, not as much as he did last week. And seemingly, the Niners always get the Cowboys in Frisco. They seemingly get the best of them in Frisco. So I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. Let's say 49ers. I don't see them hanging 30, but they won't need to. I'll say 27-14. Go ahead, JJ.
I actually think, I do agree with James on this one. I just think there's something about this San Francisco squad that just makes Dallas lose it. I just think there's something about this squad that I do think, if we're saying something like Sam sees ghosts, I do think Dak sees nightmares when he sees this defensive line coming against them. And I think their whole team is just sitting there because if you talk about where they get their bully mentality, they get their bully mentality for how they beat up this team. And I do think it's going to be more of the same. because I do agree. I think it's less about the talent and more about the psychological edge that they just have on this squad. And I do think San Francisco is going to win this game.
All right.
Now, we only have one Monday night game, I believe.
Only one.
Thank you, because good gracious, too many. Anyway, we'll finish it up with our Giants and Steelers, two very storied franchises. You can't tell the story of the NFL without including these teams. To be honest with you, crazy enough. Pittsburgh looked really good against the New York Jets. Jets are in trouble, but with Russell after the rust, and it's so funny that happened because it shows you how fast people can quickly be hypocritical because first quarter, Russ is trash, throw him out. Third quarter, oh, he's amazing, we're doing great. Y'all flipped the switch so fast on this kid. What happened? What did I say against with Bryce Young? You give somebody enough time, they're going to figure it out. He got in there, had enough time to figure it out. With that said, Jay Nelson, do you have this as a blowout? Do you take Steelers in the spread? Or do you think that the Giants can keep it close and possibly win this game?
As long as Daniel Jones is under center for the Giants, they have the potential to get blown the freak out. Doesn't matter if Justin Fields is quarterback, if Russell Wilson is quarterback. You could pull Terry Bradshaw from the booth and let him quarterback right now, and he could still hang 17 on them. The Giants are an absolute mess, probably as much as the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, yeah, go ahead. And Najee Harris has been playing a little bit better as of late too, because I can recall some years where he looked like he could be that guy, but he didn't, you know. But in the last few games, he actually has played pretty good. But I can see him definitely getting it in this game. He just may be the star of the show. Him and what's the other guy they have? Warren. And as long as the Steelers can limit mistakes and TJ Watt can get to Daniel Jones, oh, it's going to be ugly. Yeah, I'll take the Steelers. I won't have them. Now the Steelers hung 30 in back-to-back games, but they won't need 30 this time. So I'll take the Steelers 28-10.
Steelers 28-10. Okay. They do look good. Their defense is strong. James, you ain't high on the Giants, but who you got?
I'm not high on the Giants, and what I saw with this team was just pathetic last week. They just looked so bad against the Eagles, and this Steelers team has a great defensive line as well. So if you thought our defensive line, because we don't have a lot of people don't talk about it, but we don't have Fletcher Cox anymore on this defensive line, and he was the guy for us. So our defensive line is not as great as it's been, and it was terrorizing the Giants. And I think it's going to continue to happen, especially with TJ Watt over there. So I think the Steelers are going to destroy the Giants. It's a primetime game. And just so you guys know, it's a weeknight. I got work on the next morning. I'm taking my ass to bed early. I will not be tuning in for this.
I am too. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want them to win, but I think they're going to win. And I typically kind of go to sleep on games that kind of don't feel like I'm going to be up interesting because I get up a little bit earlier now to get to my job. I kind of get to my job an hour before work because, yeah. So I'm going to sleep on this one too, and I'm with y'all. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers rolling past them. You know, Jay and James know me very well, and I've had numerous conversations with them all. And James and I had a great conversation last week. My faith is so driving for me, and I just cannot thank the opportunity to be spending tonight with you two guys to sit here and talk about our picks, you know, and everyone in the comments, Bacon, Wyatt, our mainstays. You guys are amazing, and it's such a blessing to look forward to a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock when we choose to be here. We are here. I think Jay Nelson has about probably 40 shows in a week, and he makes
something like that, yeah.
And James is here, and I'm just so grateful and thankful for you guys to be here with us. With that said, any last minute thoughts, any shock thing that you want to sit there and say about the first 7 weeks of the season?
just make sure you guys tune in for Friday, man. Because if you have fun with this show with the picks, just wait, man. Because I got something for you. I'm ready.
Bingo. You know what it is. Now this guy called himself Denzel Snipes, and he has Spike Lee references, so he a producer. So you know he got something to say.
Oh man. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Bacon Grizz, Cowboy X Factor, everybody out there. Had a new viewer. What was her name? Kobe 24. Matt Weeks, everybody in the comments. Appreciate y'all every single week. Be sure to tune in to the Gauntlet on Friday and also subscribe to Sideline Sports Network because we got some more for you. So yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday night. Friday night.
Everyone be
Friday
blessed.
night.
Have a fantastic evening. Y'all will see y'all next week. Love y'all. Peace out.